computer? Okay, so if you got the little notification, just click OK, because we're not allowed to record people without their knowledge. So some of you are actually on the screen right now. Okay, so we're going to get started with our origami squash interactive element. So this is something that can be used for a card or for a part of a mini album, or even attached to a layout in a larger album. And it can be resized very easily. We're doing sort of a middly large size. We're doing a 10 by 10 piece of paper. I'm using garden green for mine, which is two-tone. So I got a dark side and a light side, and that comes into play when you decide which side you want to see with all your pattern paper on it. So decide now in your mind which side you want to see, and that side is going to go face down right now. So whatever side you want to have all your pattern paper attached to, put it face down, and then get your scoreboard or whatever you're going to use to score with, and put your 10 by 10 piece of cardstock. Now, I did suggest that if you wanted to use cardstock for your additive pieces, you could use pattern paper for this base. But I think everybody has chosen to use cardstock, which is a smart way to start because it's nice and sturdy. Okay, so face down whatever piece you want to use against your pattern paper, face down, and we're going to score vertically first, although it's not going to matter because we're going to score both vertically and horizontally exactly the same. So we're going to score at 2.5, all the way from side to side at 2.5. Then we're going to score at 5. I always score twice because I try not to push too hard, because sometimes I'm like the Hulk, the green Hulk here, and sometimes I don't know my own strength and I go right through my paper and I'm like, ah! And then our last score line is 7.5. So we did 2.5, 5, and 7.5, which, if you're really fast at math, makes them all even. Once we're done that, we're going to turn our paper 90 degrees so that those score lines that we just made are horizontal. And we are going to do the exact same score lines this way. We're going to do 2.5. Then we're going to do 5. And then we're going to do 7.5. 7.5. And I see a thumbs up from Kimberly and Carol and Robin, because I can see them on my screen. And I see some other ones floating. Okay, now this is important. Take your paper and flip it over. All the way over. Very important. Okay. Now, if you look at your paper, you can see that we have 3 horizontal lines, 3 vertical lines. And because it's an odd number, that means we have a line that's right in the middle on both sides. Okay? We're going to now score diagonally from those 2 points. We're going to score here, then here, then here, then here from those center lines. So I was saying earlier, if you look at my scoreboard, you will see that I've taken a Sharpie marker at my mom's suggestion and put Sharpie down in my 6-inch groove. And what that does is it allows you to put something diagonally on your scoreboard and know that this little score line is lined up with the gully, and the exact same gully down here is lined up with this score line that's in the center. And so then we're going to take our scoring tool and nice and carefully score from center score line to center score line, and it should intersect at this little score line. That's how you know when you get there. If you're like really close to that or right on that, you're doing well. Okay. And then we're going to do that all the way around. So we're going to turn it 90 degrees, but still on an angle. And we're going to go from this center, the center of this side, to the center of this side. And I sometimes find it easier if I put my scoring tool right on that previous score line and then kind of seesaw the bottom one to get it lined up. And then we're going to score right down there. And then we're going to turn and go to the next one. If you're using a trimmer that allows you to score, you don't have to worry about that Sharpie line because you're using the one gully for everything. And if you're using a ruler, ooh, I went out of the gully. If you're using a ruler, then you just line everything up. And then our last one, lining up, making sure you're right at the tip of that intersection. Score line and that score line, right like that. Okay. So now if you look at it squarely, you've got your vertical, your horizontal, and you now have one diamond that's been scored out. Are we there? Robin's like, no, I give up. Gonna do it tomorrow. I see lots of thumbs up. That's good. Okay, we're going to repeat that again, but we're going to shift. So we scored using our center points that time. Now we're going to move over and we're going to score on these outside corners from this score line to this score line diagonally. And we're going to do it on all four corners from that score line to that score line. So I'm going to line it up, turn it, and this actually helps because we now have a line there. It kind of helps us make sure everything still looks like we're lined up good. And we're going to line up this score line here and this score line here in our little gully and score it from corner to corner, right in the little corner. Then we're going to turn to the next corner that's down here. We're going to line it up. Make sure it lines up. And score it from corner to corner in the little corner. Like that. And then we'll turn to the next corner. And we're going to line it up. And score again. We got one more to go. I bet you most of you have already finished and you're like, come on, hurry up. Alrighty. Now, because we're using cardstock, I'll give you a little bit of a preface here. I have done origami. I've taken origami classes and usually use origami paper or something like printer paper, weight paper. So it's very thin. So you could do this exact thing without doing any score lines and just use the paper itself to fold. That's how most origami is done. It's not usually measured. It's usually folded against itself. So it's using itself as its measuring guide. But because we're using cardstock and it's so heavy, if you try to just fold cardstock and then crease it down, if you've ever tried to fold a card base, and not scored at first, you know that that score line ends up being kind of, right? The paper kind of, the fibers don't want to bend exactly precisely where you want it. So that's why we're doing the scoring. Okay, if you were using pattern paper to do this, you could probably skip the scoring and just do the folding. But this is nice because we can see now we've got our vertical, our horizontal, and then we've got our big diamond, and then our little corner triangles. And that is all the scoring we need to do. Okay, so we're going to take it out. I'm not flipping it. And I'm just going to lay it down on my board, get rid of my scoreboard, lay it down on my mat. Okay. Now we are going to fold all of our vertical lines. And because we haven't flipped it, we have the bump side of our vertical and horizontal lines facing towards us. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to fold the center vertical line. So fold it. And even though we scored it, it's always good to make sure everything lines up. And I learned this in origami class. If you push to the center and then out to the sides, you will get a nice straight fold. It won't, if you just kind of fold it and then start at one side and go all the way to the other, it tends to do this as you push across the paper. Your paper will actually shift. So if you get it kind of pushed down in the center and then go to the outside edges, you will get a nice straighter line to everything. So that was our center fold, and you use your bone folder or the handle of your scissors or your thumbnail to crease it down good. Then we're going to open it back up, and we're going to fold the right side towards the center. And again, start in the center, pinch it, and then go to the outsides. And I'm going to leave this one closed while I bring in my left side. And this way we can make sure that those two sides line up nicely, nice and square. Everything's happy. Pinch in the center, push to the outsides, score it down, and then open it up. Kind of like making a gatefold card. See, we've already got these skills because we make those fun fold cards, right? Now we're going to score on we're going to crease on our horizontal lines. So we're doing same process. We're going to start with the center one. We're going to line our edges up, pinch in the center, push to the outside, crease it down. Is everybody about in the same place? I don't want to rush y'all. I don't want to go too slow either. So this is, again, we're going to open it back up. And now we're going to do that gatefold kind of fold. We're going to fold one side into the center, pinch, crease, score it down hard. And we'll leave that folded for a second. And then we'll bring the top down to meet it in the middle. And we're going to pinch in the center, push out. Remember, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask. So we've got our nice little gatefold going this way. And we can open that up again. Origami does a lot of folding and opening. All right, are we all at this place where we've done all our vertical and horizontal? Once we've done that, we're going to take our whole piece of paper and we're going to flip it over. And it should probably be doing this, making like a little bridge, a little hump on your mat. Our next score line to crease down are our very long, big diamond lines. So we're going to take one corner and we're going to fold it. And because we flipped it, we've now got the bump side of that score line on the inside of our fold. And we're going to fold it to the center. Make sure everything lines up this way. And then we're going to push to our score line and pinch and then go to the outside edges. Grease it down good. And we can leave that there because that'll help us line everything else up. Then we're going to go counterclockwise in my world. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to bring the top corner in. Make sure it lines up. Make sure it doesn't overlap the first one that you just did. Pinch in the center. Go to the outside. Then go to the next corner. And because we've already scored it, it makes it really easy. So if you were doing this without having previously scored, you would just have to know what you're doing. You got no guidelines. And you will also see that we're making a nice little square with all those score lines in the center. And then we're going to bring the last one in. Make sure it all lines up nice. Pinch it in the center. Go to the outside. Crease it on down. Ta-da! Has everybody got a little diamond that looks like this? With little flappies that go boing, 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 boing. Okay, now, guess what we're going to do? We're going to open it back up. And everybody goes flip again. Now, this is the kind where this is the moment at which whenever you watch somebody do origami, they're very slow and they show you all the folds and then all of a sudden they go and magically it does what it's supposed to do and you look at it and you're like, but I can't see what you did. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of run our fingers down those horizontal score lines and just remind our paper that it has a memory and that those horizontal score lines exist. So we're going to kind of lift on all those horizontals, and then we're going to kind of lift on all those verticals. And you can even just poke down those four corners in that center square. And you can see how it's already starting to rise and fall around the outside edges. You see how those triangles kind of go up, down, up, down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of turn it so it's on a diagonal. Make a little diamond. And you see how these ones in the center are sticking up? We're going to put our four fingers and we're going to lift up those four triangles that are already sticking up. We're going to lift, lift, lift. And as we lift, it's going to go in towards the middle and it's going to keep going in. Is yours doing what mine is doing? And you're just going to all of a sudden squeeze it all down in. So those four corners are now squished down into the center and all these squares on the outside edge just fall down.
Mine did not do that.
Did you flip it over before you adjusted your horizontals and verticals?
Yeah.
Did you turn it as a diamond?
I did.
Okay. Are your points in the centers lifting up already?
My paper doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do.
Oh no. Are these points in the middle of each side lifting up?
I tried to do that and then I'm starting over with bending it over and stuff and it's just not doing that. It's just
not doing it.
It's just not playing. It's just not playing nice.
So what it's supposed to do is you're supposed to have those points that start as the outside edge, come all the way in and become the very center. And then once that happens, everything just kind of lays down flat,
That is not
and then you
happening.
can do a crease.
That
Squish
did not,
everything down.
that did not
Okay,
happen for me.
hold yours up for a second. I'm gonna make you big. Uh, okay, so which way
This
are
is supposed
your,
to be the top way now. We're supposed to
okay,
have this
so
on top.
what you need to do is lay it down,
Uh-huh.
put it as put it as a square,
Okay, it's a
and
square.
then take your two middle fingers and
Uh-huh.
push down the four corners of this center square.
Push
Just push
down.
down in those intersections. And that should make these outside corners pop up. Okay,
My
so lay
paper
it
just
flat.
kind of, my paper just kind of keeps buckling. That's all it's
Okay,
doing is buckling.
so lay it flat and make sure that all your horizontal ones are folding up.
Did she did she flip it upside down though? I didn't see her
I
do
think
it.
I think
Yeah.
she's okay. I think she's okay.
Yeah, it's upside
And,
down. I did that. My paper,
and
my,
then
the problem is that my paper might not be sturdy enough. It's like really just
okay,
buckling. My
that's
paper's
okay.
just buckling. I'm
And then
sorry.
make sure your vertical lines are lifting up.
Vertical lines are lifting up. Everything's
Yeah,
lifting
so
up. I
right
have it
here.
all like this, right? Vertical, vertical, vertical. They're all
Okay,
lifting up, right?
okay. Now lay it
But as soon as
down
I lay it
so
down,
that
they go down.
don't lay it down like this. Lay it
I can't
down
see
so
you.
that it
Hold
makes a
on.
cup,
I
so that it
lost
cups.
you.
Okay, because I
Sorry.
spotlighted you.
Yeah, sorry. That's okay. Um,
Where am I? Here am I. Okay, so when you're holding it up, you can see that it's cupping one way.
cupping,
Like if I lay it down this way, it looks like an upside down bowl. And if I lay it down this way, it looks like a bowl that comes up normally.
right?
So lay it down so it looks like a bowl
It's like a
that is
bowl.
coming up. The edges are coming up.
Okay.
Okay. Push down.
It's just not doing that. When I turn mine over, it lays flat. Flat.
Yeah.
I turn it this way, it lays
Okay.
flat.
It'll
I think
still
my
work.
paper, I think my
It'll still
paper is
work.
just too
So
weak.
now put it on the diagonal. And then take the points that are in the middle of your sides
Uh-huh.
and lift them up towards the center. And do that for both those or all four of those
Oh, that
outside
works.
center
That
points.
works.
And
That
then
one
you're going to
works.
push them, push them, push them, push them so that they
Yeah,
all
that
meet in
works.
the center. And then you're going to just smoosh it down.
Okay.
And then give it a good old crease.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh, now my paper's ripping. Oh, yeah, I think I got too weak at paper. That's my problem.
And then your very last step is we've got these little diagonal score lines here. And you're going to take each of these corners and fold that inside point that's in the center to the outside. And you're going to crease that down.
Right, I think I have one right, but all the rest of them didn't do right. This one's ripping. I don't know why it's ripping.
And then you're just going to work your way around. And I'm going to go counterclockwise again because that's how my world goes.
I cannot figure this out. Don't know how is it supposed to look? Can you show me how I'm supposed to look at this point when all of them are bent down the way they're supposed to be bent down? Because it's not doing that for me. Can't. I'm lost.
Can you, okay, have you squashed it?
No, I got one side. This is what one side looks like, right? Isn't that how it's supposed to look, like that? On the one corner?
No, it's supposed to be all closed up.
Okay, I don't.
When you took those outside centers and brought them to the middle, you were supposed to leave them there.
Well, every time I try to do another one, the other one goes away, and one of them is definitely ripping. Ripping.
You may need to pick a different cardstock.
Yeah, I might have to change cardstock because this is not playing nice.
And then I'm gonna do my next one. Your cardstock kind of looked a bit fibery.
Yeah, this is not working for me, but
And
going
then
back
our
to
last corner. And I always find with these last ones that you sometimes have to like make sure that that outside edge is lining up so that it doesn't pull weird in between.
I give
And it's
up on
always
that
hard
one.
creasing when all the little bits are lifting up like that, right? So there is now our completed squash. So if you take opposite corners and you go like this, 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 that's the mechanism. And because paper has a memory, it will now continually go back to that same shape. So now we get to do the decorating bit.
Okay, my shape is a little different. My ends are sticking out.
Your ends are sticking out. Let's take a look.
It's either like this.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. Lay it down. Like squish it down. That's perfect.
Okay,
Your
yours
little
looks
triangle.
like this is
Your little
folded like in.
Your
That's
little
why.
triangle mouths should open to the outside.
Okay, yeah, they do. Okay.
Yep, yours are perfect. Well done. Anybody else want to show theirs?
Can you just give me those measurements for scoring again real quick?
You're going to score both sides at 2.5,
Right,
5, and
right.
7.5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else want to show theirs? Oh, I see Carol. Nice. Looks good. You did it. Anybody else? Lynn? Yay! Well done. Ooh, Deborah's got hers. Very nice. Oh, Kimberly. Ooh, she's got a different color in the middle. Very fun. Okay, so now we need to do the decorating. And for the decorating, we can set this aside for a second. But I'll kind of show you. We had one piece that was a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I told you to use really red paper. We're going to take our 4 3/4 and by 4 3/4 and our paper trimmer. And we are going to trim it diagonally from corner to corner and then corner to corner. So there's 2 ways that you can do that. You can, the first step is always the same. So you're going to line it up, make sure your points are right in there. And my top tip for this is if you got a trimmer like mine, not so much if you have a rotary, but if you've got a blade trimmer, line it up really well and then make sure that your blade is somewhere in the middle of your paper. And then when you set it down, you're going to trim from the middle to the outside and then back again. Because if you've got that little point right there and you ram your blade into it, you're going to have a point that goes instead of nicely cut. Then you can either be a very brave person and try to hold this back together and perfectly line it up like so, or you can be a less brave person and take that centered, okay, I moved quickly there. See how I took away this one? And move that center side. It has to be the center side. Don't accidentally turn it. And line the point up in the gully and use this as your flat side. And then you can bring your trimmer blade down. Again, don't ram it into that point. And trim that. And then this one, which was this way, can go down to the bottom of your trimmer against that nice flat side. Line the point up in the gully. So you can either do it. Say that again.
washi tape works to hold it together like you were
You can
doing.
do that too if you don't want to try and be a super brave person. And then there's your 4 corners, your 4 triangles. So we started out with our big square, and then we cut it corner to corner, corner to corner. Those 4 pieces, it does not matter if they get jumbled up. Don't worry about matching patterns or anything with that, because remember we said random. We're going to bring in our base, and we're going to flatten it out. Now that we did all that work to fold it up. And these 4 triangles are going to go in these large spots. And yes, there is a crease line in the middle of them, but we're ignoring it because we don't need it. We're going to put these 4 triangles centered in these 4 triangular sections like that. So they're going to play ring around the square in the middle. Okay, so you can go ahead and stick those down. Because we're doing triangles, liquid glue usually works really well for that. There should be a tiny little bit of your base cardstock all the way around the section around your pattern paper. Come on, glue. You can do it. Try not to use too much glue because you don't want it to smush out the sides and then have your whole thing stick together, because that really defeats the purpose of it opening and closing. Okay, if you're the kind of person who likes to ink the edges of your pattern paper, then this would be the time before you stick it down to ink your edges. You just want to make sure you're not covering up the score lines that we need to fold. The one in the middle of that is okay because we're going to pretend it doesn't exist. And once you have done that, you're going to choose the pattern paper that you want to go in the very outside spots. So if you looked at your paper and you said, ooh, I like this pattern and this pattern, and I want this one as a buffer in between these 2 patterns, set aside the buffer and pick the other pattern that you want it to use. And that's what's going to go in these outside triangles. And obviously the buffer will end up going in between, but those smaller squares are not cut the same as these. Okay, I've got mine stuck down. How's everybody doing? We're getting sticky. We're getting sticky with it. So our next pattern is the one that's going to go out here. And for mine, oh, Allison's here. Hey, Allison, we're doing our craft along.
I see that.
So I'm going to use my other pattern that's splashy, and these are 4 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Well, they should be 4 of them. There's only 3 here. 1 second. Hold the phone. There we go.
Super quick question, Monica, sorry.
Yep.
Is this how it's supposed to look once I did all the fold-ins?
I gotta find you 1 second.
Sorry.
And
then you had something else you said to do after that, and I missed that.
After you've done all the folding in,
Is that correct?
can you open it up a little bit? Nope.
Nope. I cannot figure out how to get those fold-ins.
You might need to watch the replay.
All right, sorry.
No worries. Okay, We're almost done. Okay, so now you're going to take these little 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch squares, and you're going to cut them corner to corner just one time. Again, use your blade. If you're using one of these, drop your blade in the middle. Zoop, zoop.
Monica, those will be going inside?
These ones are the ones that are going in the corners. So you're going to put 1/2 of it here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And 1/2 of it here.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll cut all 4 of your 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Doop, doop. Line them up. Doop, doop. Doop, doop. You have to make the noise. It's just more
I was
exciting.
going to say, I want to know where you buy paper that makes noises.
Well, what is it? The Lorax says, I speak for the trees. All right, and then you can go ahead and glue those down. So you're going to put them in the very outside corner. And if you're going to be like me and you're going to match the pattern, you can do that. And if you don't care, then just put them however you want. It's probably even better if you don't match the pattern, but I'm going to because I'm weird that way. So right in those 2 outside triangles. I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. Are you happy with the paper selections that you made at this point? Robin's like, meh. What is it Kimberly calls it? Your sloppy copy? This is the one you learn how to make it, and then you can perfect it on the next one. Or at least get more practice. Practice makes progress. Go, I'm on my last corner. I noticed something when I was cutting this particular design of pattern paper that when I had cut out all 4 squares, each of these squares had one corner that had 3 strawberries in it. So look what I did. Put all the 3 strawberries on the very outside. Because I said do it random, right? Okay, so now when you close that up, again, squeeze on those outside edges, squash it on down. You will see that you've now got your little corners all done. Your last pattern will be on these inside bits, so you will see it on the front. And so my last pattern is this sort of, I think it's supposed to look like cantaloupe skin or something. So these are 4 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 squares again, and we're going to cut them on the diagonal just like we did with the last one. Who else is going to make the noise with me? We're going to line up our corners, drop our blade in the middle if you're using this kind of trimmer. Whoop, whoop.
Mine goes swish, swish.
Here goes swish, swish. Ooh, I like that.
Doesn't go
Swish,
bloop, bloop. It goes
swish.
swish, swish.
I could do swish, swish too. see. Swish. Oh, it does. It makes a good swishy noise. If you go slower, it makes a really good swishy noise. If you go fast, it's more like zoop, zoop. Zoop, zoop. Okay. Once you've got those all trimmed up, then you're going to come in, lay this all down, and you can easily see that these are the spaces where it's going to go all the way around. We're not putting anything in the center now. If you're doing this on a layout and you want to put a photo in there, you can put, this is a 5 by 5, so you can do a 4.5 square photo or a 4 by 4 with an extra matting. If you're doing this as a card, you could then put a nice little sentiment in there and some space to write a message. So this pattern is also really good because we did a 10 by 10, but you can also do a 12 by 12, and that will give you, when it's all folded up, a 6 by 6 square or a diamond. But if you put it on the diamond, it's wider than that measurement. If you do it as an 8 by 8, you will get a 4 by 4 completed size. You're just going to adjust your scoring measurements. So to know how to score them, you only need to know the center measurement. So if you do a 12 by 12, you're going to score at 6. And then this is half of that, which is 3. If you do an 8-inch one, then your center is 4 and half of that is 2. Your diagonals just work off of those, so that the only measurement you really need to know is what is the middle measurement, and then half of that. So let's go ahead and add these on. And if you were doing it as a card, you could also, you know, decorate the back side of the center. I wouldn't do the back side of all the triangles unless you really, really wanted to. And you could even do it where you put like a nice big image and a sentiment in the middle and then have the back side as your writing if you were doing it as a card. But if you're going to adhere it into a scrapbook or a junk journal or a golden book, then you will use that backside as the thing that sticks it to your page.
Harper is going to love having this interactive in her book.
Because it's super fun. I think I need to use some of these designs and just use like black cardstock as the base and then do all these little bits as white and have Julia doodle on them. I think that would be fun. Give her fun things to doodle on. And then she could stick them in her scrapbook. Now, if you wanted to be super fancy, you could, in a scrapbook, put a photo in here, or you could use 4 little photos. You could even put photos that have been kind of cut to these shapes. Like you could cover this all with photos, use it as like a mosaic and have something really cool going on. I kind of like the patterns because they're pretty and fun and colorful. But then that closes right on down, squashes in, and then you get woo, woo, woo. All right, so you have seen mine. I've shown you mine. Now you need to show me yours. Robin. Very cool. Looks like a galaxy. We've got Carol. Make it open. Whoosh. Love it. And Kimberly. Oh. So fancy. Love it. All right. Who else is ready to whoosh theirs? Where's Deborah at? How's it going, Deborah? Oh, I think she's talking to somebody.
I'm ready.
Barb's ready? We can't see you, Barb. Turn your camera on.
I have no idea. Okay.
Turn your camera off, then on again. We'll see if that works. Oh, maybe it's fallen down.
Yeah, she's got her camera blocked by something.
No.
Because we can
It
see
looks like
light.
It looks like it's fallen down somehow.
Is it on
Is it turned around backwards? Do you have, did you reverse
Oh, hello.
the cameras?
You see the back of your... A snake of some sort?
There, if you tap your screen, there should be a camera up in the top right corner. And if you touch it, it'll flip to the other camera on your phone.
I have the same deodorant.
That's okay. Carry on.
Okay. We'll come back. Okay, who else? Lynn had hers.
Okay, bit of a beach theme. Let's see.
Oh, very
Oh,
nice.
But, okay, 1 second. I'll do it better. One better. I'll do it better. I'm practicing.
Whoosh.
Love the shirt.
Heather?
Lynn.
Heather, were you ready?
Oh, there's Barb.
Nope, Barb.
Cool. Open her up.
Oh, pretty.
Oh,
Whoosh.
very nice. Yeah,
She went for fruits too.
cool.
Beautiful. All righty. Did everybody show theirs that wanted to?
Your mom,
I think she's doing it later.
Kathy?
Kathy wasn't working on it. She was watching. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording.